What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a thirsty Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. Getting into it here. We got highlights from Jim Knowles' press conference. Please, I get people asking all the time how they can best support the show. I tell them, look, do you want some Buckeye gear? Go to the buckeyecast.com. All the sales go into the program, into the show. Buys more equipment, gets Jeff a new set of headphones that don't make him sound like he's in a tunnel, gets me a better microphone, camera, lighting, all that stuff. So the best thing you can do, get yourself something at thebuckeyecast.com, and then that money goes right back into this show. So check it out, thebuckeyecast.com. Everything's still on sale. So we're still kind of taking it in the shorts there. But hey, I like seeing people in our shirts and stuff. So here we go. Jim Knowles press conference highlights. Started off with okay, if Lathan Ransom is out for multiple weeks, how do you move the safety positions around? Who fills in where?
Sonny and Jordan play a little bit more together on Saturday. Would that be the way you think you'd continue?
Yeah, I think that's highly possible. No concerns. I think they've both proven themselves in a lot of different dimensions, so I don't have any concerns about it.
Okay. And what stood out about Davison Igmanosin when he was in the portal when you guys were trying to bring him in?
He's aggressive. He plays with confidence, gets his hands on people. He's not afraid to fight at corner and challenge people. You can see that. And he's a willing tackler. Like, he really throws himself in there in the run game, which I think you don't see that in corners all the time.
All right. What are you seeing from the team's run defense?
Our game is such a week-to-week thing, and you're just trying to get better all the time. And, I feel like it's improvement. I feel like it's confidence. Guys understanding the system and their role in it. Being able to handle the adjustments that happen, because, you spend a lot of time on a game plan, and sometimes that changes on Saturday, right? A lot of times it changes on Saturday as the game goes on. So I feel like, particularly in the run game, we're able to make adjustments, and I think it shows up.
All right. And we saw Sonny playing some deep safety even before Ransom got hurt last week. Talk about that.
It was just more of a nickel. It was more of a nickel game in terms of the matchup on the slot, and we felt like, Jordan would be better at that. So we wanted to find places to get Sonny into the game. And against a spread RPO team, playing him at high safety worked, and it's a good thing we did it. He's now getting experience at both, and I think he can really add a different dimension, as you look to the future and structuring things, so he can be in there with other guys and end up in different places and add some unpredictability to it.
Okay. And what do you think of Jack Sawyer's run defense so far this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think anybody who's serious about watching the game and studying it, like I know you men and women are, probably more at the Ohio State than anywhere I've ever been. I mean, there's a lot of great football knowledge in the fan base and in the reporters. Yeah, so when you watch it, you see that he is controlling things at the line of scrimmage and getting off blocks. And I think all three of those plays in the goal line, he was involved in. He was involved in them, in those stops. Those are huge stops, huge stops as you look at the flow of the game. So, yeah, he's been doing that. And Maybe that doesn't show up in the sack statistics, but it means a lot to the defense.
All right. And can Jermaine Matthews provide depth at nickel?
I don't know that it would necessarily be Jermaine. He's a true freshman, so you don't want to overload him with those responsibilities. But there are other corners, that where he can go to a corner and other guys can move inside who have more experience.
And what do you think about should you feel good about the Buckeye defense so far?
Yeah, I mean, there's no time for celebration, but we have a whole category that we call, I say get better, and the defense, they say every day. And then I say things we're doing well and things we need to get better at. So it's all, and then we go through. So yeah, you're highlighting those things that you're doing well, and then you're fixing the things that you can get better at. It's just a constant process. But I think when you have more good things, it's better. It's the praise, correct. Praise, correct. My college professor, Ken Blanchard, 1 Minute Manager, right? That you praise, correct, instead of, maybe other times it's correct, praise, So, I mean, when you have more of the positives to highlight, it just, I think it helps.
And what do you think of JT Tuimoloau's toughness after his injury going back in there at Wisconsin?
Yeah, there's a toughness, obviously, that goes along with our sport. And then when you play defense, I think there's just an extra, we always talk about, our honor, defending our team, defending our fan base, really, it's like defending all that work, because they put in so much work. I mean, what people don't even know, they put in so much work. And you say what you want, but these guys work 365 days a year. So then you get these limited number of games. And really, I think the extra toughness for them comes from the brotherhood. And it's like, hey, we put all this work in. Now it's our job to defend it, So it's a tough man's game, no doubt. And I think on defense, you're, like I always say, joke with offensive coaches, you can't punt on defense. You can't say, hey, we don't want to play anymore, can we get off the field? You can't do that. You have to stop them. That's what I tell them before every game, is somebody has to make the tackle. There's somebody has to put the other guy on the ground. And I think there's just a toughness that comes with that.
And what happened on the Tommy Eichenberg tackle down in the goal line situation on Braylon Allen?
That was an amazing play. I mean, if you brilliant men and women of the media broke that play down, we actually did not hit the blitz right. If you watched it, we had two guys up the field. I think we had Caden and Jordan. Well, they were supposed to X. Jordan didn't X. So now Tommy should have had help on that, and he was left one-on-one with that, with just a goal line tackle. And really, really an amazing play. Really. I mean, I think that just epitomizes hopefully where we're at right now, toughness. And then, like I said about Jack Sawyer, I mean, you're talking about, the space from here to the wall. And like Jack Sawyer came like all the way around from the other side and wedged his body in there to push it back. So I don't know. That's not sexy, but that's our game. I mean, that's what wins football games.
All right. How was Lathan Ransom playing prior to his injury?
Lathan's been much improved. His eyes, any issues he's had in the past, call it eye discipline, just like seeing too much, and he's really started to, like, I call it see a little to see a lot. Like, a lot of times at that safety position, you have to see just this, because that right there will tell you everything else that's going on. So yeah, he had really been improved.
Okay, let's talk about Rutgers. What does quarterback Gavin Wimsatt bring to the table?
Yeah, definitely a challenge, and they're a team that likes to really control the ball. So you got to be very, very aware of that. You're right. That one was, when we review explosive plays, we have a category called defend explosives, right? I say defend explosives. They say 5 or less undefeated, so 5 or less explosive plays, we're going to win every game. But then I have to put them up there, and I have to talk about why they happened. So when that one came up, I had to say, okay, that's on me. They say that was my call was not good for that play. But with the guy we're facing this week, you have to be very aware of it.
Okay, Cam Martinez got into the game against Wisconsin. Are we going to see more of him?
Maybe stick with
Yeah, it's all matchups. It's all matchups. Trying to get the right matchups. Cam's been a guy who, hasn't been healthy. We're just trying to work him back in. We think he can help us in those situations when the offense puts a lot of speed on the field.
Right. And what did you think of Hero Canu's big play at Wisconsin when the game was still somewhat in the balance? It was a one-score game.
That was a really good play. I'm glad you saw that. And yeah, we had been seeing that with Hero. Hero's been a guy that's been showing up in inside drill, and he's been, we've been working him in a lot in practice. And yeah, I was really pleased with that play. That was a good play. I mean, he beat the block and made the tackle. I mean, that's a big deal. And our defensive tackles have been doing that a lot more this year. Not just using up blocks, but actually beating the block and making the tackle. That's a big deal. And Hero is doing a nice job.
All right, folks. A lot of good stuff there from Jim Knowles. Interesting to see how this safety room is going to shuffle around, who's going to fit in where, who fits best where is probably the bigger question. So as always, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit me in the comments. You can contact me anytime. Email me, joe@thebuckeyecast.com, and hopefully we'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.